Virgo, this is your 2026 astrology teaser video. Virgo rising, importantly, for the purpose of this video, or Virgo sun and Virgo moon, of course, as well, to get the energies of those two. If you want to dive in deeper and go all in on all things happening for your sign, make sure you check out the full extended versions of these videos, which will not be released on YouTube. So if you check out the show notes with a link for those, and you can grab your video where we talk about your ruling planet, what I'll be doing in 2026, your best transits, all of the moon signs, the eclipses, all of the things, right, are covered in the extended version of these videos. If you want to go and buy your big three bundle as well, if you know your sun sign, your moon sign, and your rising sign, then there's an option for you to do that too. So you'll get three videos for each of those signs, for your sun sign, your moon, and your rising, for you to get a huge overall energy of what 2026 looks like for you, because there's so much astrology going on in 2026, because we have all signs changing planets going into their retrospective homes for 2026, and there's so much going on, and I've covered it all in these videos. And also, if you decide that you want to check out and go for the 12 signs bundle, you can give the rest of the videos to your friends and family too. There's an option for you to do that as well. Also, if you want to read and learn how to read your own birth chart personally and professionally, check out the Decode Your Birth Chart astrology course that I've created just for you, so you're able to easily read your own birth chart, either for fun or professionally, or for the charts of other people too. If you do want a personal reading with me, I've left the information there for you to do so as well. I think at the current waiting time at the moment, I'm booked readings until February, so make sure you get yourself on there as well. Okay, Virgo. So let's get into it, Virgo. There's so much going on for you in 2026. But 2026 is the year I'm starting something. I'm going forward momentum. 2025 was the year of letting go, of saying goodbye, of closing the door and the chapters, the year of endings. And we have now 2026, the number one year, the year of initiation, starting fresh, starting new. Your green card, your green lights to go forward with forward momentum. Let's talk about the start of the year, starting off with soon as we get into January and February, we're going to have sort of the major signs moving back into the sixth house for you, right? So Pluto's going to be in the sixth house for you, and Pluto during the sixth house transit is going to be transforming your day-to-day routines, all right? So there's going to be huge transformations around your. And I know when I say this, Virgos are going to be like, "Oh my god," because this is a house of organization and the house of the house of organization, getting things done. Your work house, it's like the to-do list house, which is ruled by Virgo, actually, in the natal wheel. And we have Pluto here shaking things up. Pluto's like, we need to have a look at, Missy, your routines and your health habits, and what are you doing with your life, because why are you doing things the way you do them, and are they actually in alignment to you, are they beneficial to you, right? With the Virgo energy, sometimes we can be hyper focused on being of service to others. That is going to be life purpose, of course, but also this is like, well, how are my routines of service to me? Because Pluto will be asking us to look at what the place that we go to, the work that we do. Is this my sole purpose, right? The people that we hire, the people that we work for, there's going to be huge transformations, around that as well, because Pluto likes to cut, sever, tie, and destroy anything that's no longer serving you in the realms of your work, in the realms of your day to day, in the realms of how you go about your day to day life. This is also the house of health. So Pluto here is asking you to do the work on your health as well, because Pluto will be like destroying and getting rid of limiting beliefs, habits, anything that's like self-sabotaging behavior in the sixth, the health house. Pluto will be like doing away with that, asking you to make better choices when it comes to your fitness, your health, what you consume physically and mentally. That's all for a huge shake-up for you in this area. I would say that with this transit, and this is a huge transit too, right? This is going to be happening for at least a decade. That this is about renewing your health and focusing on your health, your mental health and your physical health. Let's say mental health as well, because it opposes your sixth house. It opposes your 12th house. Okay. You have you have Saturn and Neptune moving again January, February. Saturn and Neptune will be going direct into Aries, and for you, this will be your eighth house. Again, the themes here for Virgo are so much about transformation and rebirth. So health habits, money habits. The eighth house is money. Is money. It's other people's money. It's your partner's money if you have a partner. So Saturn and Neptune will. First of all, Saturn does okay in the eighth house because it's one of the money houses. The Saturn does really well in the sixth house, the house of work and organization. It does well in the second and the eighth house as well because these are money houses, and the fifth and 11th as well to a certain degree too. But Saturn actually likes to be in the money house. It's about getting organized when it comes to things like your debt, credit card, loans, money that you owe, money owed to you. You may apply for a mortgage under this transit. You may remortgage, right? There could be changes around that. There could be inheritance coming in. There could be money coming in through other sources, through clientele. Saturn will ask you to reorganize and do the work around those areas. So it could be that you may have to say goodbye to regular sources of income to make spaces for new ones, because Neptune will be also here as well, dissolving the boundaries around that. And so there could be dissolving of boundaries around intimacy too. And so this is about, am I now able to let someone into my life? Saturn in the eighth house is asking you to do the work on intimacy. Do I feel that I am able to allow intimacy into my life, both mentally, spiritually, and physically? There could Saturn here can cause blocks to lovers as well when it comes to sex, passion, and dating, because you may want something more serious. you know, and the eighth house is about getting serious and doing deep transformational work with somebody else. So it's like, well, I don't want surface level romance. I want all encompassing, deep, serious adult passion, and I want an intense bond with somebody. Saturn can give you that. It can also break that too. If it's already on shaky grounds, Saturn can break that as well. Neptune is here too, helping you to dissolve what is no longer serving you in the realms of your intimate relationships and in the realms of joint finances too. Um, if you do have a partner, then the eighth house is one of the houses that rules your partner's money, because it's second from the seventh, right? And so this is your partner's money too. And so their financial situation will have a huge overhaul as well. Saturn will be testing them, making it harder for them to achieve the it's not. I'm not saying they're not going to achieve the financial goals, because Saturn will give you the biggest blessings if you're prepared to do the work. Saturn wants you to do things the long and hard and the proper way. With Saturn, there's no shortcuts. It doesn't want you to shortcut. It wants you to do things properly and feel the lessons so you can move forward and receive the benefits of it too. And when Saturn blesses, it blesses in huge dividends. And so you may, if you do the work with Saturn in the eighth house, you may receive, unexpected money as well, like huge amounts of it, because Saturn likes to bless where it is. Neptune's here too. Neptune will help you manifest the money that you want. Neptune can bring you aligned clients as well, because the eighth house is your clientele, and so this could be connecting with your clientele on a spiritual level, and attracting people who are going to help you manifest your dreams, goals, and desires in the realms of your finances, the money that you make, your money story too. You may even attract soul aligned lovers during this transit as well, who are going to match you on an intimate sexual level to help you ascend your soul journey onto a higher level, because Neptune is a higher octave of Venus. This could bring soulmate relationships. This can bring marriage too, because Neptune and Saturn together, especially in the eighth house of intimate bonds, can bring like a marriage type union as well. So there is that too, or it could be the breaking of the bonds of that as well. You will have, moving on as well, you will have, oh yeah, Neptune in the eighth house. I want to say, with Neptune in the eighth house, I want to say for you to incorporate more spirituality into your life. Because the eighth house is also the house of spirituality, of the occult, of tarot, of astrology, of Reiki, of anything that's not mainstream. Even though these things I feel are becoming more mainstream now, it's about bringing more of that into your everyday life. you know. So it could be like, because it's going to be sextiling your sixth house. This could be, okay, all my health issues, all the things I want to do. I don't want to just go to my doctor, my hospital, or the hospital, or whatever it is. I want to actually try other things. I want to go. There's more. There's more than that, right? I want to seek alternative medicine, spiritual healing. I want to do spiritual cleansing, detoxing. I want to go ayahuasca, whatever it is. It can be like that. It can be like that, all right? As deep as that, right? From April. I think you're the only video where I'm doing this very organized. Very Virgo. In April, Uranus will move into your house of your work and your career, the 10th house. All right, it's going to be here for a minute. It's going to be here for a minute. Wherever Uranus goes, there's going to be huge shakeups. All right. So if you're in an established career, you may quit, lose your job. There's going to be huge changes around that. You may become promoted. You may become the boss. You may lose your company. Not as extreme as that. But what I'm saying with Uranus, anything can actually happen. You know what I mean? But I want to say Uranus doesn't like to punish you. Uranus likes to redirect you and clear the way for you to where exactly you're supposed to be. So if Uranus throws a plot twist into the realms of your work and career, trust that you are being redirected to where you're meant to be, and where you're meant to be is usually even better than you can ever imagine. Uranus, I feel, is one of the planets that does bless you, even though it's not benefic, it's not malefic either. And so, actually, Uranus usually will redirect you and set you right on your purpose, and he'll do it unapologetically too. He'll just do it. Uranus in the 10th house as well, because it's rules parents too. This can be like one of your parents acting kind of hella crazy as well. They're going to need more attention from you too, because they're acting like, because Uranus is like a very rebellious nature. If I'm bringing this back to you as well, you might be feeling more rebellious. You might be wanting more freedom. Maybe you want more freedom from your home life, your family life, or maybe you want more freedom in your career, for example. You may decide to go freelance, or you may decide to become an entrepreneur, so have employment for yourself, etc. You may decide you don't want to go into the office anymore, and you want to work from home, for example. You may decide you want to travel and work. Uranus needs freedom, it needs expansion, it needs room to breathe. Uranus is air and wind, right? It needs that. And in the 10th house as well, the house is this is almost a bit like the ascendant, but not, because it's about you and how you come across and how you're perceived by others. There, you want to be free spirited and flow like the wind, like Uranus. You will have ingenious ideas when it comes to work and the type of work that you do. Because the 10th house rules like your status, and I mean like your public status for one. You know, you may go from being single to engaged to married to divorced, etc. Because there's gonna be some change here, from a Miss to a Mrs. Or is that what they do? Um, Along those sort of lines, because the 10th house is also your title, and how you're seen by others. You know, so you're going to be like um, very rebellious during this transit. You're going to be like, no, you can't tell me. This is what I want to do. I want to be fighting for my causes, fighting for my people, fighting for the underdog. And you're going to be asking yourself, actually, the work that I do, is this actually, because this is Virgo energy, right? Am I actually helping the collective? Am I being of service to the collective? Well, how can I, because Uranus is the higher octave of Aquarius, and sorry, the modern day ruler of Aquarius, and the Aquarius energy is about the collective and still being you, and being you as an individual, but being that as part of a collective as well, because we are all connected together, aren't we? So there is that. You may take your business onto the internet. You might go online with that. You may make, because this is sextile in your 8th house. There could be like unexpected blessings when it comes to huge amounts of money coming into that you haven't earned, like surprise money. Like you could be like lottery win type energy. I want to say, all right. Or it could be that year. I had a similar thing where there's money owed to me from a bank, and I just filled out the forms, and the money, within like a week, the money was in my bank account, and we're talking like like a huge chunk of money actually. This has happened a few times to me with the Uranus transiting or affecting my 8th house. Okay, so bear that in mind. You will be having from July onwards the nodes of destiny leaving your sign. So you've been going through it, Virgo. I know. I've had this too, the Libra rising. The nodes of destiny were falling into your 6th and 12th house. And so when the nodes of destiny change their axis. This is very pivotal, right? And so for you, you've been feeling it on your the house of you and your relationships. It's going to be moving from then, shifting from the 6th and 12th house, and this will be the axis which rules over your mental wellness, your physical wellness, your spirituality, the places you frequent, enemies, hidden enemies. And when I say enemies, you can be your own worst enemy usually with this transit. So it can be like, okay, I am now going to retreat from the world, and I'm becoming sort of lone ranger type energy where everyone's just getting on your tits and you just want to be on your own. Uh, when we have 12th house transits, especially when it's coming from a nodal point, this is about seeking wise counsel when it comes to a therapist, a psychotherapist, doing the shadow work, doing the healing, making time for journaling, making time for breath work, making time for meditation, making time to have a really great mental wellness, mindfulness practice, whether that be through spirituality, whether that be through speaking to a psychotherapist, maybe it's linking it all together. Maybe it's like I'm going to get up every morning and do a morning practice, which is going to include things like EFT tapping, gratitude, journaling, all of them, just one of them, depending on how much time I have. The 12 has of sleep too, so this could be having a really good evening practice. We're actually having more sleep and making time for you to nurture yourself during the transit, because when we have the nodes of destiny going through the houses of 12 and 6, this is about focus on your health, focusing on you being important, and actually self-love comes from looking after yourself. Am I drinking enough water? Am I taking my supplements? Am I eating the right foods? This sort of energy. Because actually, that is a huge part of self-love, self-care, and self-love too. Because if I'm looking after myself and my vessel, my energy, my spirit, then I can show up for myself in my other areas of life 100% too. So this is a huge transit. This will be happening from July onwards, and this will be an 18-month transit. I would say you could get because the 6th house rules pets, so you may come into contact with a spiritual pet who is like a karmic pet, like a soul twin flame through a pet. And for Virgos especially, I find that having a pet, especially like a rescue pet or something, is really great for clearing your karmic energy. It's really good for clearing negative karma for you, being of service, looking after a pet. So this could possibly happen. You may travel spiritual journeys as well. 12 houses international travel. So you may go on a spiritual pilgrimage, or you may go somewhere and just really find yourself and be at peace. You know what I mean? Joining the party will be Jupiter, also going into the 12th house. Jupiter is a very spiritual planet, going into the house of spirituality. You may make a lot of money internationally, so it could be that you will get a lot of international bookings. You may work in different countries, or you may have clientele in a foreign country, or it could be that your company is going to be based in another country. Even you may be actually at home. Your clientele, your country, and your company are actually all over the world. For example, Jupiter in the 12th house is great for bringing surprise abundance, surprise blessings, money coming out of thin air, literally. This is really great for that. Jupiter in the 12th house is asking you to do the spiritual healing on your inner critic, Virgo, how you speak to yourself, healing old wounds. That doesn't mean you have to forgive people for accept what they've done, but healing them for your own peace of mind. Where have you been on a thought loop? Where have you been triggered by? Jupiter's asking you to dive into your spirituality and to make time for you to heal, so you can then release yourself from bondage. There could be more people who are making themselves known who are against you, so there is that as well. This is an amazing time, however, to delve into creativity. If you're someone who is a dancer, a performer, a singer, a painter, an artist, this is a great time for that. This is a great time to get into music. This is a great time to invite sound bath healing into your life. This is 12th house energy. 12th house rules things like baths, hotels. You may spend more time in hotels. You may spend more time traveling. The 12th house is international travel. Jupiter expands wherever it is. You may be traveling internationally. And when I say international, like long distance travel with this, because the 12th house is long distance travel for you, Virgo.